Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today something very interesting is going to happen to me that hasn't occurred in the 50 or 60,000 games that I've played of World of Tanks. And that is that we're going to have an absolutely peculiar situation where the server is going to crash. Now what exactly happens when the server crashes? Well, I guess it depends on whether the server crashes for everyone or alternatively maybe just some of the connections, i.e. Wargaming's networking breaks down between certain countries, certain internet service providers, and the results can be pretty peculiar, as we're going to be seeing later on in the gameplay. Right now, however, this was just kind of your regular EBR game for me when I was playing this on the Stajanki map. I was thinking, okay, let's get into the middle of the map with the fastest light tank in the game, dominate it, try and lock it down, and then see if I can try and give my team as much spotting as possible. And boom, there's a really good start. You know, that's an incredibly dangerous tank to face in any vehicle, let alone in a light tank. The AMX 13105 with its 3-round 105mm autoloader, yeah, as the name would suggest, is capable of doing 1,170 damage within about 5 seconds of the first shot. And I've only got 1,300 hit points, so I'm not going to be doing very well if I take too many of those hits. Alright, so now that I've managed to win the center of the map and we see an AMX 13105 on my team, pretty much nesting up where we'd managed to shut down the AMX 13105 on the enemy team, I decided that I can be more useful elsewhere, so we get a nice bit of air there as we turn Stajanki into a bit of a ramp, a skate park here for the French wheelie. And I think, shall I make my way up there? Shall I go after the UDES? Shall I go after the T100LT and try and get the 2 self-propelled guns that we have in the game firing? Or alternatively, shall I drop back and try and make my way down the south? So once again, this crash occurred in the new update of World of Tanks, and as I highlighted in the video yesterday, but I'm sure a lot of you are here for the first time in update 112, you might be thinking, whoa, what's happening with the UI? Well, I guess I could probably show you by going into the settings, that if you go into battle notifications, so you go into battle and reports, you can actually set up the health bar at the top of your screen. This is incredibly useful for trying to gauge about how likely your team is to win, whether you maybe need to make an aggressive play, or maybe you need to make a last-ditch attempt to be able to maybe pressure the cap circle while the enemies are out of position. This is incredibly useful for the reasons why I suggested, but it's not the only useful thing that they've added in the 112 update. Now, you would have seen this in my mod pack for years and years and years because it's the way that I think the game should be played. And that is that you have now got a light bulb on the enemy team. And the light bulbs, when they're grey, will mean that they have been spotted, but they're no longer spotted. So you can see which tanks have been spotted by your light tanks or your medium tanks or any tanks in the game so far. But importantly, while the light bulbs are yellow, like the UDES 1516 was there, until he's no longer spotted, that means that they are spotted at that time. So it's incredible for making quick decisions about, okay, what kind of vehicles could be in position? There's an FV215B183 who hasn't been spotted. Where is he likely to be? Is he going to be chilling over in these bushes over here? Is he going to one-shot me as we make my way towards the artillery to see if we can shut them down? Oh, and the day, like, in that kind of a situation, it's probably best if I don't shoot at the artillery. But the day that I don't try and shoot at artillery and risk them just scurrying away with a remnant of their original hit points is the day that I should probably quit playing World of Tanks, right? Alright, so I love seeing artillery tracers as you're in an EBR 105. I'm just thinking, let's go. So we're going to shut down the T92 there as well with the TVP, and oh dear, what's this? Yeah, I think you might be seeing roughly what was happening. Now, interestingly, my connection was completely gone. But as recording, replays, is local. This is not me doing some special mating ritual for the Stridsvagn 103B in front of me. This is where I've lost complete connection to the game, my turret is off, and luckily for me, it looks like it's the case for everyone else. So I was streaming during this moment and I had basically an, oh gosh, has my internet connection gone down? Am I still streaming? And I saw that I was. Twitch chat was there going, saying, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, are you lagging? And then something very bizarre happened. And that is that after a couple of minutes of the server or my connection to the server being down, I managed to get back into the game. And I'm very surprised that I am still alive. And it quickly became apparent to me that, oh my word, I am one of the only people that managed to connect back to the server. It's like we have ghosts of the enemy team, the Batchat 25T in this position. I'm glad I didn't quite manage to race over here. The Stridsvagn 103B not connected. Everybody looks like they've just been frozen in time all around me. Even the people on my team, as we can see over here with the E100 and the IS-7, all with their turrets turned around, as would happen. And I managed to now start loading high explosive rounds, and I do the quickest 1,800 damage to a Bat Chatillon that I've ever seen. And I'm just realizing that these players could connect back at any minute, and so I'm trying to get as much damage done to them as I possibly can. But oh gosh, there we go. Now the UDES 1516 on the enemy team has reconnected. So this is such a bizarre situation. I need to use this rock to avoid where the UDES hit me from, while also farming up the Stridsvagn 103B, who is now who still hasn't managed to connect. And also we see that our team is starting to lose hit points in other areas of the map, so players are proceeding to connect. And there's that UDES 1516 as we shut down the Stridsvagn 103B. And look, he's making a beeline straight towards the CS63 that he just shut down, and now he's going to make his way towards me to try and stop me and the EBR. So it's like a battle of who is still connected to the game. We see that the IS-4 hasn't connected, we see that the Leopard hasn't connected, and this pesky UDES is ruining what could have been an absolute dream situation for me. But this is just such a bizarre situation where you're not worried about vehicles that are right in front of you. Oh, well, maybe you are. He's not pointing his gun at me by any means. And oh dear, we managed to actually get hit by the FV215B183. I thought he was AFK. I was quickly trying to figure out what tanks are AFK, what tanks are not AFK. An absolute preposterous scenario to find yourself in World of Tanks. And now I get spotted. And I'm thinking, how do I manage to get spotted here? The UDES surely couldn't have been quick enough to be able to get to that C1 area to be able to spot me. There's no way the FV215B183 managed to spot me. And then, it dawned on me. Okay. T100 LT hadn't been spotted yet. And there we go. There he is. And I'm not sure if it's me spotting him or if it's the E100 who's spotting him, but I'm not complaining. We managed to set the T100 LT on fire, and that poor player, even though they've not connected to the game, they're still going to have to resupply that premium fire extinguisher. This is literally 1 in 60, 1 in 70,000 kind of game of World of Tanks. It's absolutely bizarre. And you can see even the micro stutter, the lag is almost continuing in this replay as well. And that's because my ping was going red, as we can see up in the top left-hand corner. And even though we were back inside the game, it was very dodgy to say the least. So I fire on the move against the FV215B. 183. Now up to 6,500 damage dealt and 2,000 spotting. Although I can't really say that the 6,500 damage that we dealt was all my good plays. I think a lot of that was probably down to the fact that we got to farm the entirety of a Batchat and the entirety of a Stridsvagn 103B. So I decide to try and rush the FV215B 183, and oh no, the UDES, the pesky UDES that I forgot about in the corner of the map, manages to hit us flush and shut us down. But not before we're able to do 7,000 damage and 2,700 spotting. So the game continues in bizarre fashion, and we find that the Batchat rushes in with the FV405 to start finishing off the mouse before they start taking damage from the UDES. And clearly the FV405 is probably aware of what's going on, just like I was. Their FV215B183 comes around the corner, deals 1,400 damage, and I was starting to get a bit nervous. Was the UDES on the enemy team going to manage to finish off the only 2 players on my team that have actually managed to connect? But actually the artillery seemed to be there as well. The DVP raises his gun in celebration. What was possibly one of the most ridiculous games of World of Tanks I have ever been a part of. Now, usually, if I'd managed to do 7,000 damage in a light tank, I'd really feel like a hero. But I only think that my connection, coming back quickly to wargaming servers, was probably the heroic thing that I managed to achieve here. We hit every round that we fired. We did 7,300 damage. And we managed to get an ace tanker and a scout medal as well. But doesn't even really count. No, not really. So I went looking on what replays, and I realized surely I couldn't have been the only one that this happened to. And you are watching Lucky 417 in their Boogie, the tier 6 Polish medium tank. And as we can clearly see, Lucky is living up to their name because they're the only person who's managed to connect to this round of World of Tanks. Boogie, I called Lucky Boogie there. How quickly is Lucky going to be able to figure out this scenario? Well, let's just follow him round in 16 times speed. There's a Tog that's rushing through. Do you think the Tog was one of the only other people who managed to connect, or do you think they managed to disconnect? And what we're going to see here is pretty much Lucky still playing carefully. He's got to be, obviously, he's got to worry about the situation. Surely there could be one other player who's managed to connect, but oh... What is this? Talk about an easy firing line. Like fish in a barrel, right, boys and girls? Oh, and one of them manages to appear, but luckily manages to shut down the Super Chaffee. The Britannia Panther appears, and there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how quickly you can manage to pick up 12,000 damage in a tier 6 vehicle. So just what is the result when you take out the enemy team single-handedly? Well, Lucky 417 gets the Rizene Heroes Medal, the rarest in the game for destroying at least 14 tanks, a Scout Medal for spotting 14 of the 15 enemy players, a High Caliber for dealing a casual nearly 13,000 damage in a tier 6 tank, a Tank Sniper for dealing most of that at long range, and the result is 4,092 base experience. Yeah, not a bad result. So, ladies and gents, boys and girls, there you have it. That's what happens when the server crashes in World of Tanks, and maybe when literally just calling yourself lucky will end up with you having that kind of result as well. Really hope you enjoyed this silly video today. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, however, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it's released on Sunday, it's time for the World of Tanks Tech Tree Showcase live right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And this week, seeing how the Swedish medium tanks and the UDES 1516 is now top of the tree or on track if you're on the NA server, and you can get them at a meaty discount, both with regards to experience and credits, I'm going to be showcasing the entire line of Swedish mediums live right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. So come along if you want to get a crash course in Swedish medium tanks, and we're going to end up playing a good amount of rounds in the high alpha damage monster that is the UDES 1516. So really looking forward to seeing all of you right now. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.